Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel once again. Welcome to the delayed flight. Vilnius Tower. Here is where we landed last time in Vilnius. And I hope this clip will be a short one. I received a question from a friend of the channel, the Headhunter, and I will try to answer the question of Headhunter, because from the dialogue that we already established in the comments of the clip, I'm afraid we are somewhere lost in translation. I will leave my bones here for sure. The weather today is somehow better, but of course this weather is not the best. So, anyhow, it is about the vertical speed. The question is about the vertical speed. And yes, I know I'm stuck. The clip didn't even start and I'm already stuck in this wonderful tower of Vilnius airport. So, a bespoke airport, a wonderful bespoke airport. So I think I must have a look at the question and let us see. The Headhunter asks, what is the shortcut to hold vertical speed button? It is the clip MSFS Autopilot keyboard commands how to fly in MSFS 2020. Now, interesting is that he uses the word hold. To hold. He doesn't write, for instance, how to activate the vertical speed button. Excuse me, but he writes how to hold the vertical speed button. Truth is that this doesn't make much sense. Anyhow, dialogue continues like this. I reply to him, Alt V, this is the command. And here Alt stands for autopilot function. We activate pressing Alt and we press Alt V. The autopilot function that we will activate is the vertical speed of the plane. If we press Alt H, we will activate the heading. If we press Alt A, we will activate the altitude of the plane. And if we press Alt T, we will activate the auto throttle, just in case that our plane has an auto throttle. Maybe doesn't have. And in order to make myself more clear, I write a second answer, hold the VS button, hold, I suppose you mean to activate. And the Headhunter replies, yes, but press Alt plus V and no activate vertical speed. I suppose he means, yes, but while I press Alt plus V, the keyboard command, I don't see the vertical speed activated. So more or less this is the meaning. More or less this is the meaning and the a little bit weird sequence of this dialogue. Okay. So I suppose I must go to my plane, which is waiting for me on the runway. Here is more warm. Outside is quite cold. It is about, right now, how much? Something about -5 Celsius. And I must go to my plane. So, I suppose this is exactly what I have to do. First thing I have to say to my friend, the Headhunter, or maybe to ask, is if he actually understands what is the purpose of the elevator. This is the elevator, isn't it? Up and down. The altitude of the plane depends on the elevator, isn't it? Exactly this one. Here. I think it is quite visible, isn't it? Though this is a little bit simplistic, this is the elevator. Each plane has an elevator. I don't think that there is any plane without an elevator or without a rudder and ailerons. This is the elevator here, okay? We have the Dragon of Druk Air, one of my favorite planes. It is the Cessna 172 with the Garmin G1000, this edition of the plane. And here is my beloved Dragon. Here is the Dragon in all his glory. The second thing I have to say to the headhunter is that the vertical speed autopilot doesn't work by itself. This thing doesn't exist. In order to have the vertical speed function activated, you must change your altitude. So the use of the vertical speed depends on your altitude. I have an altitude, let's say. Now my altitude, the elevation actually of the airport, I just pressed letter B to correct the elevation. The elevation of the runway is about 600, isn't it? Here, you see it. In order to activate the vertical speed autopilot, you must change your altitude. Either you go higher or you go lower. For instance, now here I set an altitude of 2000 feet, and maybe I will keep this altitude. 2.5 maybe? Okay, 2.5. Here it is. Our desired altitude is 2.5 thousand feet, 2500 feet. Okay. So in order to have vertical speed activated, you must change your altitude. Either you will go up, or for instance, if you are at 2.5 thousand feet and you want to change your altitude from 2500 feet, let's say, to 1000 feet, you must change again your vertical speed. When you climb, this is actually the rate of ascent, isn't it? From, let's say, 600 to 2500. It is a rate of ascent. When you want to go from 2500 to 1000, for instance, it is a rate of descent. As I said, when I answered the question, which seems it was not enough, the vertical speed is activated with Alt plus V. Here it is, exactly here. And in order to change the vertical speed, in order to set actually a rate of ascent, I press CTRL plus home. You see here, vertical speed, isn't it? VS. And here I set, I hope the cursor is visible, a rate of ascent of, okay, 800 feet per minute. Here it is. This is the way this system works. You go from one altitude to the other. So we are expecting, if I activate the autopilot, now the autopilot is not engaged, it is actually in standby mode, that we will climb from 6, 7, 800 feet. When we will activate the autopilot, we expect that we will climb to 2500 feet. And exactly at this moment, the plane will stabilize automatically. This is the use of the vertical speed. So I suppose we must depart, isn't it? So the question of the headhunter, I suppose, still remains unanswered, because actually the question shouldn't be how to use the vertical speed mode, but how to change my rate of ascent or descent. I said which are these two commands. You go here, for instance, search by input, and you type CTRL plus home. No, I made the mistake. You press, yeah, okay. For rate of ascent, it is correct. Here, search by input, CTRL plus home. Here it is. Increase autopilot reference vertical speed. This is the command. Okay? Increase autopilot reference vertical speed. So here you set CTRL plus home. That means that you will increase with this command your vertical speed, actually your rate of ascent. And the other one is, again, search by input, CTRL plus end. You see? Decrease autopilot reference vertical speed. Decrease autopilot reference vertical speed. CTRL plus end. These commands are included in the autopilot. Okay, you will find your autopilot commands, and these two commands will be somewhere there. Increase autopilot reference vertical speed and decrease autopilot reference vertical speed. So go back. Okay, the news is the following. I had enough of Vilnius weather, and ladies and gentlemen, we came to Philippines. I mean, here the weather is slightly better, I mean much more better, and we will depart from here to practice a little bit the commands concerning the vertical speed. So first I set the heading of the runway, which is somewhere here, I suppose. 05 is the runway. I don't engage the autopilot yet, but I have heading mode standby, which is Alt plus H. Please have a look here. Here, exactly. You see, heading mode is standby. Alt H is the command, heading mode is not activated. And this is exactly the sequence of the keyboard commands that my friend, the headhunter, has to follow. Then we set Alt plus A, again have a look here. Heading mode is standby and altitude is standby. I pressed B and I corrected the elevation of the airport, which is actually close to 0, I think. We are close to the sea. So altitude is also standby. Altitude will appear here, and I set an altitude of, let's say, 2,500 feet, 2,500 feet. The command is CTRL plus page up. As you see, I don't use the mouse. I could as well change the altitude here, isn't it? But I prefer the keyboard command, so I continue. Okay, 2000 is enough. Altitude standby at 2000 feet, and vertical speed is activated with Alt plus V. Here it is. You see? I can as well set my vertical speed, which, as I said, is the rate of ascent. This I don't like much. Yeah, this I don't like at all, to be honest. Anyhow, let us depart and the rest for later. Unless we veer that badly. Yeah, something is wrong with the yoke. We managed to take off. So please now have a look. I hope the yoke is normal now. And now I activate the autopilot. Autopilot is engaged, isn't it? So here I set a vertical speed, CTRL plus home is the command, of 800 feet per minute. I hope we will not stall. And now all together, heading mode is on, vertical speed is activated, is on, and we will climb to 2000 feet. Okay, I will make it even less. CTRL plus, page down. As you see, 1,500 feet, 1,500 feet, okay? So everything is on autopilot, we are hands-free. Okay. The runway is behind us. And as you see, we climbed to 1,500 feet, 1,500 feet, and at this very moment we will see here Alt S will appear, which means altitude stabilized at 1,500 feet, and the vertical speed little by little will go to 0. So let us have a look. (1,500 feet) here is blinking, and Alt S appeared, altitude stabilized at 1,500 feet exactly. Straight and level flight. Heading mode is on, altitude mode is on, and vertical speed went back to 0 actually. Okay, it is 100, maybe the airplane struggles a little bit, and right now it disappeared, okay? I have something very interesting for you, please stay tuned. A very special airport and a very special scenery. So, the airport is behind us. I try to reduce my speed so that we can turn easier. Okay. About 90 knots at the moment. And now I want to change my direction 180 degrees. Okay, I will not use the keyboard command, but I will use the heading knob here. Please have a look. Don't exceed 180 degrees, otherwise the plane will turn from the other side. Okay? So, more or less back to the airport. Monitor your speed, because our speed dropped a lot. Now it is about 76 knots. Wonderful camera views for the Cessna 170. Okay, somewhere here. You see the runways in front of us. And let us start descending. Let us practice a little bit. My speed, meanwhile, dropped a lot. So, 1,500 feet. CTRL plus page down. You see, 1,000 feet right now. I received a stall warning. Alt V again. Here it is. It appeared. And the rate of descent a little bit steep. About 1,000 feet per minute. Here it is. Actually, this way I can even land, isn't it? I mean, if I change my altitude at the moment at 600 feet and I increase the rate of descent, yeah, this is quite a lot, 1,400 feet per minute. You see that I actually am perfectly lined up with the runway. I'm perfectly lined up with the runway, and I can as well land. But we will not land, we will just stabilize at our new altitude, which is 600 feet. with a rate of descent of 1400 feet per minute. Okay, I can as well change my heading a little bit since we are on autopilot. Hands-free, totally hands-free. But as I said, we will not land, we will just continue our training. Okay. Here is our airport. If you are interested about this airport, please let me know. And now I have a surprise for you. Actually, this is called Easter egg, as far as I know. Exactly right now we stabilized at 600 feet, and more or less the vertical speed right now disappeared, isn't it? Which was a rate of descent. It will be either a rate of descent or a rate of ascent. Now I'm going to make something quite risky. Soon I will disengage my autopilot. If our altitude changes, the plane of course struggles to maintain again the altitude set, which in our example is 600 feet. So I disengage my autopilot. I have my reasons. And let us see if I can make it, if I can land here. I also set my flaps actually. I have the control at the moment. We must be quite close. Just I must only check my speed. This landing is extremely difficult, otherwise I will stall. And this plane doesn't have floaters, the Cessna 172, isn't it? So I think I must land somewhere behind these trees. Very beautiful scenery. I will not record my landing. I'm not very much interested about this. So somewhere here I think we must turn. Yeah, we're close to stall. Maybe it is not here, but I'm sure we're quite close. I hope it is here now. It is not here either. Let me see if we can land. Let's dive, okay? We managed a little bit. Come on, stop now. Yes, our landing is a little bit unorthodox. And I see our wheels are inside the sand. Can as well shut off the engines. See now what is going on. We destroyed our Cessna. Yeah, we just destroyed our Cessna. See now what happened here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't like the weather in Vilnius, and that is why we changed the environment for our tutorial. This place is quite interesting. This is called an Easter egg. To be honest, I didn't know what an Easter egg is, but it seems Easter egg is a hidden scenery, and actually I have contacted with the developer, and the developer gave me some hint, a piece of advice how to find this wonderful scenery that he has hidden close to the airport. And meanwhile we hear Coop and Island Blues. So, let me show you a few details here, and I think this will be all for now. Yeah, a very nice surprise. If you're interested about this wonderful Freeware bespoke airport, please let me know. I mean, I had enough of Vilnius weather. Vilniaus oras buvo man gana, aš nenorėjau daugiau. Šitas blogos oros ten. Todėl mes čia dabar. Yeah, this is the hidden scenery. I mean, we landed at about Christmas in Vilnius, and I haven't seen a single good day there. Needless to say that our landing was one of the most difficult landings I've ever had. Visibility 0, you may have a look at this clip. And here is a very special place. Yeah. In Philippines it is slightly better here. In Philippines it is much more better. So, here people are swimming, are not suffering, isn't it? A wonderful scenery from Turtle. This is the name of the developer. You may have a look at flightsim.To if you are interested, or let me know. You see how nice? An excellent job. And I just want to find something here. Yeah, here people have some fun. So, I want to find a particular place here, a particular corner, and I think this will be all for now. Let me know if you are interested about this Freeware scenery, Freeware airport and Freeware scenery, which is included with the airport together. However, you must search a little bit. I can give you also some hint if you want to find this place here. A wonderful job by Turtle, one of the best developers I have met actually online. You see how nice. And I think more or less this is all. I will not explore the scenery more. It is a wonderful place here in Philippines. A wonderful couch, wonderful view. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me go downstairs. It is great to feel that in some places of the world it's still summer, maybe. I showed you how to climb stairs up and down. So I think this is all for now. Last but not the least, once again I will show you all the commands that we used, how you can find them. It is so wonderful here that I don't want to leave. How you can find them on your control settings. And please remind me to repair the dragon. Please remind me to repair the dragon, because the dragon actually right now is sinking. Where is the dragon? No, I don't want to have a look at my beloved dragon. It was such an effort to bring him back. What is going on here? Okay, summertime, what? Okay. Just give me a second and I will show you the commands, and this will be all for now. I can also go inside these houses. You see how nice. I mean, this is paradise on earth, isn't it? Paradise on earth in Philippines. So let me show you the commands that we used, and this will be all for now. So we go to control options indeed. I showed you how to validate the commands. So we go here, we used Alt+V, toggle autopilot vertical speed hold, isn't it? This is how we activated the autopilot vertical speed. In order to change the rate of ascent or rate of descent, the commands were CTRL plus home. Here it is, increase autopilot reference vertical speed, exactly this one, or CTRL plus and decrease autopilot reference vertical speed. And by the way, this maybe I can as well delete. I mean, this is unnecessary here. I mean, we use the frequencies. This is for the frequencies. We use the knobs there. So CTRL home and CTRL end. We increased our altitude with CTRL page up, one of the most, here it is, important commands. So autopilot increase autopilot reference altitude, and CTRL page down, decrease autopilot reference altitude. We used this command also. All these commands are under the autopilot commands. And what else we used? Yes, and also we used Alt-H, isn't it, for our heading, autopilot heading hold, and Alt-A, here it is, toggle autopilot altitude hold. And I think these were all the commands that we used during this tutorial. If you are interested, we can as well have a look at our landing in Vilnius, because I have recorded also my landing in Vilnius. I don't know if I will post also the landing in Vilnius. So I think this will be all for now from this wonderful scenery here. I hope my friend the headhunter found the answers that he wanted. If not, he can let me know in the comments of this clip or the one where he commented. If you want to stay tuned, maybe I will also post right now my landing. So it depends on you. This is all for now, and you take care. I want to have just a quick look at Vilnius. So or not. If I disengage the autopilot, I will lose my settings. Maybe to return back. Maybe to return back and to land. Yeah, this is more wise. Where is the airport? Somewhere behind, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah, exactly behind us, isn't it? Yeah, Echo Yankee Victor India. It is behind. Which means Alt 2, heading mode. I can as well change my heading mode here, isn't it? This one here. 180 degrees turn. I use the knob and not the command, the keyboard command, because I have said many times that this may be dangerous, you may have a crash. So let us go to land. Two things only for my friend the headhunter. In order to activate the vertical speed mode, here is the... Okay, I disengage now the autopilot, enough is enough. In order to activate the vertical speed mode, you have an altitude and you set another altitude. Here, it is 1700, isn't it? And then you press Alt plus V. I showed you the mode is activated, the autopilot mode. And then when the plane reaches the new altitude that you set, it will stabilize automatically. I will not record my landing, I mean I will just land. Now if you want to descend, you press CTRL plus End after you activated the vertical speed mode with Alt plus V, exactly as I showed to you. You set the rate of descent, let's say minus 700, minus 800, whatever you like. And when the plane is on your new altitude that you set, it will stabilize automatically. So let us land. And I think this will be all for now. Of course, when you do all these things, you have activated the autopilot, isn't it? Needless to say. It is the first time that VASI puppy lights work correctly. First time. Strange. Anyhow, let us go to land. Ladies and gentlemen, the plane that we used was the Cessna 172, a wonderful plane. If you want to learn the basics, I would strongly suggest you to use the Cessna 172 with the Garmin G1000 mounted. Or you can as well use the Cessna Caravan 208. Flaps? Okay. I don't care much because the runway is quite long. I approach too high, of course. About 58, 60, even less. Touchdown. Okay, about 70 feet per minute. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is all for now. I hope my friend, the headhunter, finally had his question answered, and if not, of course, he may ask something in the comments of the clip that I told you earlier, and I will be glad to answer his new questions, but I think it was quite clear. Thank you for watching this clip and hope to see you soon to the next one. Till then, you take care and bye for now.